There we go. All right. It's about 5:30 in the morning. We've just gotten up, getting ready to leave the shelter. We can normally leave at about 4 a.m. That's the time to let us leave. Give you an outside look of the shelter. There's the exit door, the back gate, and this is about the normal time that I usually get up. A few other people get up about this time and get out and get about their day. A lot of guys try to get down to the labor halls and catch work whenever they can. This morning I'm here with Johnny, one of the gentlemen who just got up with me. Johnny, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, we'll start this off. In 1992, my wife and son died. I had a partner that was crooked, so I had to lose everything I owned. I went for a year. I lived on the streets, and my parents found me in 93. My stepfather died of massive coronary in my arms. My mother got killed by a train in 96. Well, no health insurance, no burial insurance, so I had to come up with $6,500 and quick to bury her. So I sold everything I owned, and that's how I became homeless. It's been a cycle down. I get ahead and knock back down, get ahead a little bit. I've been shot, stabbed, beat to death. I've lived in several cities. But here in Tallahassee, I got to say that if it wasn't for the shelter, I wouldn't have no place. I am chronically ill right now. I have 3 illnesses, and if it wasn't for Mel and the shelter, I'd be out on the street, which my lungs can't handle it. 70% of Americans are one paycheck away from poverty, and what they don't understand, all it takes is getting sick, losing no health insurance, floods, any kind of disaster, mental illness. 40% of them people here have mental illness. A lot of them can't get the proper medications that they need. They self-medicate themselves with drugs and alcohol, which is not right, but they're doing the best they can. Just because you see somebody dirty and grungy doesn't mean they're a bad person. It means society gave up on them and they gave up on themselves. You'd be surprised what a kind word or being nice to someone would do for a person. I do a lot of speaking for the homeless. It's actually my passion. I feel that the whole world needs to know about it. Just like one person every month is getting killed. They got this thing now with the teenagers going around and murdering the homeless. You have several, Jasper, Florida, there's 3 guys in prison for 35 years because they took a guy, beat him to death over a 3-hour period. There's 2 guys they just recently got life over on the other side of Florida for beating a man with a baseball bat to death, Norris Gaynor. There was 2 10-year-olds and a 14-year-old that was dropped in cinder blocks on a man's face. Society's teaching kids these days that it's okay to tally against the homeless, which is not right. First it was the blacks, and it was the gays, and now it's the homeless. And I mean, society needs to learn that we're all people, and a helping hand you'd be surprised what you can do for a person.
Yeah. You mentioned before that you had a business. And what type of business?
I had a restaurant.
A restaurant?
Yes.
Okay. Was it successful?
Yeah, it was very nice. It was a 24-hour restaurant. It was in the state of Delaware. Okay. I took in a partner, and at the time my wife was pregnant, and she wasn't supposed to have any kids. So at the 5th month, I had to sign over power of attorney for him to sign payroll checks. Well, I didn't know this. He was ripping me off the whole time.
Wow.
Well, in 6 weeks after burying my wife, I lost my business because he was stealing from me, and then the IRS came and took the rest of it.
Wow. Now, I'm sorry to hear that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that like to take advantage of people. You also mentioned that if it wasn't for the shelter here in Tallahassee, now what's different with this shelter?
Because
and I'm assuming
I've been in St. Petersburg, I've been in Mobile, Alabama, I've been in Biloxi. They don't have shelters. Okay, St. Petersburg's got what they call the Salvation Army. Now I heard they opened one on 49th Street, but when I was there in '98, they didn't have one. You stayed at Williams Park, you stayed at Mirror Lake. One eye open, one eye closed. That's how I got this scar here from a pipe. Somebody trying to rob me while I was asleep. I've woken up with no shoes on, no coat. I go days without sleep just because of that factor. Mm-hmm. Biloxi, there is no place. There is no shelter. This is back in 2001. For 5 days, I had to dig a hole in the sand, take a piece of biscuit, put it on the bottom, one on top, and duct tape it so I stay dry. The only place that there is to stay there's a church, but it's got to be 35 degrees or below for them to open up. And let's don't talk about the law. Especially in Biloxi, they hate the homeless. I had a cop follow me around for 5 days. Every time he got near me, he made me dump my stuff out on the sidewalk and just hassled me. The last time it did happen, he followed me into Wendy's and got me. All I asked him what in the hell he was bothering me for, and I went to jail for disorderly conduct. If it hadn't been for the manager coming up to my rescue when I went to court, I would have got charged with that, but it was dropped. It's like I say, people got this thing about the homeless that we're all bad. We're not. Most of us are educated. I got 4 years of college, 12 years of school. It's just a cycle. 5 years ago, I went back to Louisiana and thought things were going great, and I didn't have no car. I haven't drove since my mother got killed. And I got hit by a car. A guy left me for dead in the ditch. 6 months I couldn't work, lost my job, and lost my place to live again.
Okay.
I came here last year and broke my arm. There's a place in Macomb that's got a hole in the sidewalk, and I broke it in 5 places, and that's when I first started staying here. Jacob was the one that started taking care of me, got me places to sleep, people wouldn't step on me and stuff like that, and then I started speaking for a coalition this year.
Okay. Well, seems like you have a lot of strong opinions about things.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you, what do you think should be done by just average Americans, or by city legislators, or by the government?
What I think, first thing, I think the city of Tallahassee needs to come up with some more money. I think that the shelter needs to be improved a little bit. There's a few things that we could use. I think that there need to be more programs for the homeless. I think that the women need to be re-educated that have kids. We have several families up in here with children. You know how hard it is for a woman to drag 3 or 4 kids around with her? And you can't work. There's nobody to watch them, no daycare, for mothers that need help. I mean, that's a must too. I think there should be more shelters open across the United States. I think that each city should have at least 2 or 3 of them, and I think they should be run right. There should be a training program for people that want to get back on society, back on track. You can't just take somebody down and out and throw them somewhere and expect them to... Everybody needs a helping hand.
Yeah.
I mean, every now and then you got to have a helping hand to get ahead.
Yeah. Well, and from my experience, people are always asking this question. Me myself, I'm homeless, and they always ask this question: what are you doing to help yourself out of this situation? And I'm pose that
I get
question.
up every morning and try to go to work. I try to get a job. You know how hard it is to apply for a job and use the shelter as an address? It goes from your hand to the trash can. You know that, and I know that. I get up every morning, try to better myself. Right now, I'm trying for my disability. Like I said, I'm extremely ill right now, and but I get up every morning, try to do my best. Right now, I'm on my way to Labor Hall, try to go to work.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there anybody you'd like to say hi to, or anything you'd like to say in closing?
What I'd like to say in closing is everybody needs to just sit back and how do you say, sit back and watch and take a breather and look at your fellow man. We are all good people. You have your bad, just as well as you have your bad. Have houses and and have full eyes. But most of us are actually really nice people. If you get to know us, you actually would like a person. All you need is helping hand. You'd be surprised what you can do for a person.
All right. Well, John, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, John, I want to thank you.
No problem.
And I appreciate you for taking the time, and appreciate you
No problem.
for your honesty and,
yeah.
and your candor. And good luck to you.
All right, thanks.
As you can see, that was John. Pretty nice guy. That's with most people here. It's just difficult times for a lot of people. So that's it for this segment of Diaries of a Homeless Entrepreneur.